Mic check, mic check.
Greetings.
Hey, just make sure my mic works.
It works. Hi, Tania. Yeah, you got the spirit, Alan.
Oh yeah, I found it. Yeah, I found it.
Yes, indeed. That is it. Isabel, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you.
Hi,
Congrats
how
on
is
all.
everyone?
Good. Congrats on all your wins, getting those clients to those certification assessments. No small
Yeah.
feat. Indeed. We will kick off the festivities. A couple more minutes to start pouring in. Hey, Amber, Anita, Neil. Welcome, Luke.
Happy holidays. How are y'all doing?
Happy holidays. Doing good. Can't complain. Right back. Need to get my spirits / water.
I remember to get my water too.
Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and kick off. So welcome to CPN's inaugural holiday / Christmas party. The whole point of this party is to kind of the network outside of doing the assessments and prep and training, kind of reflect on what's been accomplished this year. There's been a lot. It's been really impressive what the community has been able to do. And also we're going to have our first award ceremony. We'll be presenting some awards. And other than that, people opportunities to share some of their experiences throughout that they've had this year in CPN. So this real kind of informal party, as much partying as we can do virtually over Google Meet. But hopefully, eventually next year, definitely aiming where we can have potentially a conference and meet in person. So that will be very cool. Let's see. A couple minutes. And then I was about to ask to see if I see any of our leadership team, starting to see some. So Tania, I saw you earlier. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think I was on mute initially.
Mhm.
I hope
Yeah.
everyone is doing well. It's nice to meet everyone. I don't think I had the opportunity to talk to everyone, but I'm really happy to be a part of CPN, all of the wonderful things you all are doing. And yeah, happy to support. Happy
Yeah.
holidays to everyone.
Indeed. So Tania is our newest VP Education. She's backfill for Makia. And yeah, she's full steam ahead. She's ready. And definitely the education role. There's a lot of moving pieces and supporting. Now we're going to be moving into the level 2 training. So that's going to be fun. But I guess if for those who haven't had a chance to meet you or speak with you, can you give a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I consider myself to be a multidisciplinary security professional. So I've done multiple security management roles to include cybersecurity and physical security, a bit of InfoSec. I started out in the DoD and right in personnel security. So I've pretty much done a lot of program security support. I went on to start my own company in 2014, and we have about 27 employees supporting the F-35 Joint Program Office, as well as Missile Defense Agency and currently DARPA as well. And looking forward to learning more about CMMC. I say I'm definitely a novice, but I can wrap my head around compliance and assessments. So I'm looking forward to learning as I help the organization grow.
Super. So we have a real live defense contractor amongst us.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic, indeed. So, as more people come in, just kind of give a little background about CPN, how the idea came about, and now what's now the community. Those you haven't heard this story, so essentially, I started my CMMC journey back in 2022. Right around November, I took the CCP, and then at the time I think it was a provisional assessor. I was able to knock those both out within before the end of the year. And after that, it was kind of like, okay, what do I do now? It was really not much going on in CMMC world since rulemaking was still going on. So really just had to navigate the CMMC ecosystem. I felt like kind of just alone and trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be my career move? How am I going to get hands-on training? Even though I had a lot of cybersecurity experience, obviously CMMC's new. And yeah, it was a learning curve, a lot of trial and error. But after about a year of starting to get a little traction, starting to put out content about CMMC, started having people reach out to me kind of in the same position I was in the year prior. Like, hey, how do I get started? How do I get experience? What's the CMMC stuff? And I would like weekly having like multiple one-on-one meetings and trying to give them lessons learned. And I realized like, this is not really going to be that scalable. I'm going to run out of time eventually. And I was like, okay, I've had experience doing serving in like Toastmasters and leadership roles, National Speakers Association, other different like nonprofit organizations. Like, okay, no reason to recreate the wheel. Let's take some of those best practices from those communities and see can it be pulled off in the CMMC ecosystem. So that was kind of that planted the seed just in my head. And then I was invited to an organization to speak for, what's the name of the organization? Is it Study GRC, Alan? So yeah, and that's how I met Alan. So I was invited to speak to that organization, and they met at like 6 p.m. at night. Well, yeah, like it was evening time. And I was like, I wasn't too enthusiastic about doing it just because my kids was already home and I was trying to avoid doing things in the evening. But I did it. And when I joined that group, they met like via Google Meet or one of those platforms. It was just the energy blew me away. It wasn't a lot of people there. It was maybe 8 to 10, but they were just really energetic. And you could tell like, wow, they had that tribe and they had that community feel. I was like, okay, so it is possible to do this for cybersecurity. And because they focused on the governance, risk, and compliance. And that was the last kind of like push for me to say, okay, then let's do this for CMMC. And I remember I like woke up like 2 a.m. and shook my wife like, I know what I need to do now. I need to start a community for CMMC. And she looked at me like I was crazy. I think she said, exactly, are you crazy? She's like, you're already running a business, and starting a nonprofit is gonna be like running a new business. And I just have that mentality like, we'll figure it out. Build that plane while it's flying. And she was right. That was kind of crazy because it ended up being a lot more work than I anticipated. But the smartest thing I was able to do is surround myself around smart people who were also tied into, believed in the mission. And the first thing I did was reach out to our leadership team, that people who ended up being our leadership team. So Tarek, Elvis, Rodney, at the time, Akia, Cody. And fortunately, all of them said, yeah. Once I told them what I was trying to do, they said, yeah. And we were kind of off to the races. So we officially launched last October. We probably start hosting our first like webinars. We were doing like kind of more like roundtables, inviting people to speak. We started in like October, November. And then by December, we realized, okay, it's kind of like formalize this into an education program. And it's just been a lot of trial and error, a lot of trying to figure it out. But each time we've been able to have a greater impact or expand, it's been a result of volunteers saying yes. So that's what I've been good at as far as identifying who has that skill set, who believes in the mission, who has that heart for service. And yeah, people are saying, yeah, and it would just keep expanding and growing. So that really is the backstory behind CPN. And it's probably been one of the best decisions I could have made, because it's helped build this community. And as a result of that, there's just so many other opportunities that come about, and then being able to just meet so many new people and identify just a lot of top talent as well. And I'll touch more on that later. But that's really the backstory. And any questions about that backstory, or any thoughts, feedbacks about just the CPN? Again, it's not going to be just about me just talking. I just want you all to definitely share what's been your experiences over this year, and anyone wants to share like why, or anything they've gotten from CPN, anything why they joined, things they want to see CPN actually kind of grow into, things we can offer. Definitely, it's all. Yeah, you only have to raise your hand. Go ahead, Luke.
I'll try to be respectful. So, one of the things that drew me to the CPN, honestly, was, just watching, Darich kind of put this out there. And I went to Seek East back in 24 before they renamed it to CS5. And then I wasn't able to hit, get together with Darich whenever we had CS5 this year, but he was spending some time with his family, much needed time. Yeah. And I think that was my favorite networking event in the last 18 months, was getting together with the CPN group and just kind of, the camaraderie between everybody. And just, you got multiple people that have decades of experience, some that just started in the space, right? But just a lot of people that are very passionate about not just cybersecurity and GRC, but CMMC and the U.S. military supply chain space. So it's just been a great community. So yeah, I appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that feedback. And that's one of the many things I think makes CPN just a unique community within the CMC ecosystem, is because we don't discriminate. We don't care what your experience level is, who you are. Just, hey, if you want to learn about CMC, or if you want to serve to help teach people about CMMC, it's come one, come all. So we really welcome everyone. We even have a member that's in high school. They haven't really been that active, but I view CMMC, it's created a new industry, and it's just such a remarkable career opportunity. So I sing it from the mountaintops. Anyone who has a slight inclination about IT or compliance, anything, like, hey, check out CMMC. There's just so many opportunities for from a career standpoint. And for those of you who've been doing this for a couple of years now in the CMC world, it's been tough, because during the rulemaking, not much is going on. And I would say, as far as like conversations with prospective clients, like those early days, it was tough. Like, it's like trying to convince them to spend their limited budget on CMMC, and they're like, I'm not sure if this is even going to be real, or they're going to make it through the rulemaking. So that was really tough. But I would say the conversation has shifted since the CMMC rule has went final, where now they contact the organization like, hey, can you fit me in by how long is it going to take for we can get started? And it's just a total shift now. And they realize, okay, it's no longer optional, and it's going to have real impact on them potentially winning new contracts and just a lot of opportunities. So we now are viewed as CMMC professionals. We're viewed as we can help them. And we're more of somebody that they need. So that's a great position to be in for cybersecurity. So Rick, I saw you shaking your head. Have you experienced something similar in terms of like the conversations with prospective clients or clients? I think you're on mute, Rick.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, the clients have been interesting. The first, no, it's not going to matter to me. No, it's not going to matter to me. Oh, wait a minute. Can I have that yesterday? Happens all
exactly. The time. Yeah, like, well, I don't have a magic wand. This is going to take some time, but hey, we're here to help you as much as we can. And I've been hearing a lot of stories where I had an organization contact us. They're a relatively large manufacturer, have over 500 employees, and they were being turned away by some CMMC consultants because they just didn't have the time. They say, hey, we can't get to you for 3 to 4 months. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
and like, wow. And other ones I'm hearing like, hey, no one's calling me back. It's just like, wow, interesting. So, and that's another, I guess, benefit of this community. I look at it as, even though I didn't really think of it, wasn't thinking that far ahead, but really for those who don't know, I'm also the founder and president of Aspire Cyber. So that's our CMC consulting business. But with CPN, it kind of goes along with that metaphor in terms of when do you build that you dig that well before you get thirsty. So over the past year, we've been developing CMMC consultants and assessors, and now we have a large pool that we can pick up from this community when those clients. So it's not a bandwidth issue for us, but for a lot of CMMC consulting organizations, that they haven't been doing that, and it's a bandwidth issue for them now. So they're getting contacted by clients like, oh, we're already booked up. That seems like I wouldn't want to be in that situation as an entrepreneur, turning people away. But yeah, anyone else want to share any experiences they've had in terms of like conversations with clients, prospective clients, or just your experiencing with CPN this year, or things you want to see? And I won't hold y'all too long before I get into the awards, but kind of the networking part.
I have something I can share really quick.
Please.
Derek, I didn't remember, but I had reached out to you earlier this year about a situation I ran into. And good advice for a lot of other consultants that are on the call. If you have a client that suddenly changed the terms of your contract that you signed, one of them being the situation I was in, we had agreed it was going to take 12 to 18 months with their environment. And they suddenly said, oh, we scheduled the C3PO in a month and a half. And I was terrified. And I was trying to figure out how to make it work because, we're running a business and we want to make sure we make the client happy. And I reached out to Derek, and even if I charge $1,000 or whatever to just hire fast CCAs, I just felt like it would just be not good work that I couldn't put my name to. And I just got some good advice from Derek and just went to talk to the clients, and I was like, this is not good. This is not fast. This is not what we agreed on, and we ended up parting ways. But my stress levels went way down, and I just moved on with other clients that did respect the contract. So don't try to rush with things. If you're not comfortable with the situation, review your contract, talk to your clients, and it's okay to walk away from bad situations. So.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I certainly remember that conversation. That's really invaluable advice because as a consultant and entrepreneur, you realize sometimes you have to fire clients or just identify those red flags where it's like, okay, all money is not good money. And you certainly can have those problem clients where it's just not going to be worth the hassle, no matter how much money they're making, giving you. Or also, as Isabel pointed out, in terms of your reputation is very important. And also if you're certified, like Isabel, you're a lead CCA?
I'm a CCA pending tier 3. I've been waiting since January.
Okay. Gotcha. So, but if someone's certified, we're bound by that code of professional conduct. So it's things that can get, especially when you're talking about certifications, can get pretty sticky. You want to remember that in your integrity, because clients can try to put you in some compromising situations that you be conscious of. What about you, William? What's been some of your conversations or experiences with clients on the CMMC side since the rule's been final?
As you mentioned before, I think that yes, there's certainly been a sea change around how the market is looking at this requirement. But I'm seeing that being driven a little bit more, less so by the rule being finalized, but by the fact that we're now seeing CMMC show up as a requirement in RFPs. Right.
Yeah.
So that's starting to drive you know, how you know the market is looking at this. But one of the things that I'm seeing from my perspective is that we're still at the beginning of this, right? Because we haven't really looked down into the supply chain. Right. A lot of the clients that you know that we work with, and we have them look at your vendors, look at your subs, and you know the response. Sometimes the responses that is coming back is, you know, CMC, what is that? Right?
Yeah.
It's a little surprising that you know this far in, you know, in the game. And the responses that our folks haven't even started to do this yet. But what we're seeing that is really going to be the driver is that, and as you all know, you know, these requirements flow down, right? And it's starting to flow down to levels where CMNC was not even on their radar at all, right?
Yes.
So now a lot of the conversations that we're having with our clients is looking forward, you know, what does your supply chain look like, right?
Right.
The critical subs that you depend on to bid on work, you know, we've been doing this work for months. What are they doing? Right. And it's still new for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, as you know, as you mentioned, you know, there's a market here for folks that can go out there and you know help these providers. And you know, like you, we've been beating this horse since the beginning.
Yeah.
And what that means
long before me. How long you been in this game? The NIST and CMC?
I mean, we did our first NIST 800-171 assessment in 2017. Right. So that was sort of pre CMMC, and then CMMC was announced, and there was a lot of activity in the market. But then there was quite a period of drought in between. Right. With, you know, a lot of people sitting on the fence, you know, because of, you know, the rulemaking changes, etc.
Right.
But you know, the focus is there now. And I think going back to what Isabel, you know, mentioned, one of the things that I do with every prospect is a level set, right? There may be folks out there that is selling compliance. I don't sell compliance. I'm here to help you build a program that meet the compliance requirements, right? What that means is you got to kind of eat the vegetables, right? like you have to do the things, right? And the biggest challenge that I'm seeing is not so much the technology requirements, because that's just configuration, right? It's really the culture change to happen in the organization.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for 30 years. It's turning that ship around takes time. So you know, I try to level set with these clients that, and I can move this at your pace, but understand the level of change that this is going to drive within your organization, and that change can only happen at the speed of business. Right. It's one thing for me to say it. It's one thing for me to write it down. It's something totally different for you to do it. Right. So you know, it's an exciting time, and I think, you know, we do this work because we enjoy this work. And you know, as a member of CPN, I really applaud, you know, all the folks that are putting in the time, you know, to help grow this industry.
Right.
Because I think it's needed. I think practical workforce development is needed. There are a lot of certified folks out there that you know. So I think, you know, now more than ever, you know, we need what CPN is doing.
Yeah, totally agree. Absolutely. And you bring up a really good point. So over the past week, I've met with 2 prospective clients who are not defense contractors, but they're vendors to defense contractors.
Yeah.
So that's really a whole nother market that, like I said, we haven't really thought about just how expansive that is. Yeah. One company I met with yesterday, they're a PR company. Okay, like, why are you all? What does CMC have to do with you? Like, our clients asking for it because they're a defense contractor. Whoa, this just really is going to expand out.
Yeah. Because the diligent primes are going to be risk adverse, right?
Big
It
time.
doesn't matter that we may not flow down CUI to you, but to ensure that we are managing our risk, we need to work with firms that are compliant and certified, right? So that's what's going to sort of, really expand the need, because you want to bid with firms that can do the work and it's not going to cause you any compliance risk.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. So next kind of do some introductions before we jump into our first set of awards. Share my screen. All right, we'll start with our board of directors. So we have, I know Bill, he's on the call now. We'll have him say some words. But Bill Campbell, Mark DeBry, Rick Bruner, they definitely have been instrumental in terms of kind of helping me figure this all out. Definitely Bill, he has a lot of experience working on supporting boards and serving on boards, and I had very little. So he's been a really invaluable mentor and advisor, and amongst other ways he supported CPN, which we will address. But since we are doing the board introduction right now, I'll tie that into actual award. So our first award up for Board Member of the Year, I might have already hinted to it a little bit, but it is Bill Campbell. He has from Balance Logic. He has come up with a lot of good ideas. One of them around our badging. That was one of his ideas, and a lot of other ideas. He's really kind of helped again guide me as we try to grow CPN and be a legitimate 501c3. So, Bill, are you available to say some words and share any of your thoughts about what draws you to CPN and
Yeah, sure. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Derek, for that award. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural Christmas bash. Hopefully we'll have one every year. Yeah, so when Derek and I, first met, the CPN was just starting, and it was an insane idea, an incredible idea. I don't think there's anything like it out there right now, in my research. I'm full throttle involved with CPN, building it. Listen to the beginning conversation. Things are going to get crazy out there. People are scrambling. I mean, we got 3 clients right now that we're working with, and they are 100 feet underwater trying to figure out and realize the information that they have to pull together. We have one client that needs to get level 2 by March, and they're freaking out. But yeah, good stuff. Working with Derek and the other board members, we're gonna build CPN to something amazing that everybody's gonna want to be part of and look up to. And I mean, that's just one part of it, being the community. I mean, the other big part is getting the word out there as far as CMMC to the DIB, but also in a great community for everybody who not only wants to learn their skills, but to network with other professionals. I've met some amazing people in CPN and built some great relationships. So I'm all about CPN 100%.
Yeah, you've been all in. Really appreciate it. So in addition to being a board member, Bill also is our other than Inspire Cyber, our first sponsor. So he's our first official sponsor, corporate sponsor. So Balance Logic. And want to tell us a little bit about Balance Logic?
Sure. So I have a managed services company as well, but Balance Logic has transitioned, kind of restructured into more of a digital transformation. I know that's kind of a legacy word, but it's actually coming back into the industry. But what we focus on is fractional CIO services, fractional CISO services, AI and automation development for the SMB, as well as software development. So we want to make sure everybody's in compliance. We want to make sure they have the correct information and advisement they need, not only just understand their business, but actually bringing them into the cloud environment, because we all know, it's going to be 100% here soon.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Bill. And I didn't mention what do the winners get. So the winners, they will get a badge for the award they won. So they're creditly badge. And then they also will get a $50 gift certificate for one of the like Grubhub or Uber Eats, so to treat you for your Christmas lunch or something, whatever you want to buy this Christmas season. So if you're getting that via email, and all of the certificates, those certificates will be sponsored by Aspire Cyber. CPN doesn't have enough money for that yet. We'll be sponsored those $50 certificates. So thanks, Bill. Yeah, can't thank you enough for all you've been doing. And I know we're just getting warmed up, just scratching the surface. So
yeah. Thank you. And thank all the members. Obviously, we're not a community without the members.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the members. And as Bill mentioned, that's probably the biggest benefit of all, just being able to collaborate, and network with the different members. There's been so many different business partnerships, friendships, all type of different relationships formed through people meeting through CPN. And as I mentioned for Aspire Cyber, I see it as a pool where a lot of top talent that we've been able to identify just from the CPN community. And that's one thing as well, where a lot of times people will contact me either for career mentorship, guidance, or just for a career opportunity. And before, it was, especially someone new to the field, I didn't really have a direct path for them. Like, I could kind of give them some advice, but didn't really have much I can really offer them if I wasn't hiring at the time. But now CPN provides that platform where someone can demonstrate their skills, show what they can do, and either get a direct opportunity to Aspire Cyber or one of our many other members who are either entrepreneurs or working for companies who are looking for someone. So I just can't think of a better platform for people to show their skills. And that's really what it's about, because you can get resumes. I would say, yes, your resumes can go into that black hole versus you actually leading with value, showing, hey, you have these skills. So that's something that really stands out. And a good example of that is many, but Amber Willer, she's a good example of that. I think it was a couple months ago, we were on a group call for CPN, and they were sharing ideas about different things we can do in terms of more training and deliver more value for the members. And she said, I'm really good at documentation. And that stood out to me, because I always want to hear when people, what they're really passionate about, what they're really good at, versus someone saying, yeah, I'm good at cybersecurity. It's too broad. I can't really work with that. But she says, you're really good at the documentation. And then during the Google Meet, the Google Workspace, she led that prep, and just the documentation they created was really amazing. So it's just an example where someone can not only just show me their resume, but to actually show what you can do and produce something of value. That's just something that I think I emphasize that for anyone who's looking for opportunities.
I wanted to add, a team did a really good job together. I did a lot of the outlining, but the policies and procedures that you saw was a collective effort. Shout out to Ed White, to be specific. We worked together. We had a really solid team, and we all pulled our weight. But not only that, a diverse group of people, different backgrounds, common shared goals, though, and that's what's got us through our cohort into our mock assessment. Well, thank you, Derek.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let me pull up that team real quick. I think I have a picture of you all, that whole team. So you have Mike and Ed White. The team. So for that one, and that's actually, I think, moving to one of our next awards, the mock assessment team of the year. it is that Google Workspace team. So for those of you who didn't have the opportunity to watch that mock assessment, they did a phenomenal job. And what was most impressive about that team, in addition to them demonstrating what they learned over the 20 weeks, is the documentation. And I'll definitely prioritize before the end of the year to share that documentation out. I know y'all created it to be a resource for not only the CPN community, but just making it public, open source to anyone who wants to leverage that documentation. So yeah, really commend that, you, Amber, for leading that team, and then Mike and Ed and everyone who contributed to that mock assessment and the documentation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think you may be the only one on right now from that team, but yeah, anything else you want to share about what went into that prep, and then like what was, did you see did you feel like you were able to develop more skills as a result of going through the mock assessment prep and doing a mock assessment versus kind of passively listening to the training and not acting?
Yeah, I shared with the guys. So one thing that we did, the three of us, we actually had the group meeting, for the mock assessment, and then we would have, as needed, on a weekly basis, kind of like our side huddles, to prepare even more for the group discussions and getting to know each other. Like I said, seeing, each other's professional goals, where they were, being in agreement with doing what we can, to help each other get there. Also balance of, I would say, responsibility or power, if you will. I would let them know, hey, I'm traveling, and they would step right in. Hey, I got you, this week, and I have to do this next week. And we flow pretty well together. There's collective, a lot of experience amongst the three of us, but in different areas, which you kind of started to see as each week went by. Challenges, life, we have, jobs, careers outside of it, but we all were committed to quality. We're all committed to quality, and that was across the board, not just with the leadership, but also our team members. It was 20 weeks, like you said, and when I remember looking at it at first, like the description was like, oh my goodness, 20 weeks. But then I said, you know what? I said, I have to respect the people who sat down and planned this out. They know best. So honestly, I really had to just surrender to, I didn't know anybody. So this was actually my first introduction with not just CPN, but just the material as well. And I just said, you know what, you have nothing to lose. If you put yourself in a leadership position, you're going to get as much as you can out of it. So I did it to force myself to be as present as I possibly could and push myself to do the 20 weeks. One of the things that we did for the mock assessment, I told him, I said, hey, I may be a nerd, but what if we had a script, for the mock assessment where you just could read it off? It wasn't like law or anything like that, but I remember one of our cohort, they said, let me see this. And so they went and they kind of, spruced it up for their particular security controls. And so, it was just a meddling of minds. I had a wonderful time. A lot of information transpired. And also, it just showed the real deal. I love the fact that our trainers, I got to give a shout out to them as well. They really, asked the right kind of questions, not just the training aspect, but once that mock assessment started, they took it seriously. It wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
They really wanted us to learn. They had great questions. And I love that we got all that recorded, because that's something I will definitely take with me to review and to learn from. I remember Evan right on the call, he just said, hey, I'm asking you this, so you are over prepared, and I appreciate that approach, because a lot of time, when we do mock assessments or anything that starts with a mock, we tend to maybe, be a little flat about it. But this was a great way for people who are not very experienced to really see what it means, because like you said, cybersecurity is very broad. Maybe some people are going to watch this content and say, okay, maybe that part is not for me, and maybe I need to go and read the side, or someone can say, I love that energy, that's what I'm going to do, and they could dive into it. So I would say it was the realistic approach from everybody they didn't play around. That's what I would say. And I've seen some groups, they don't take things seriously. You know, not to be derogatory, but you know, they will use life as an excuse. And granted, you know, things do happen where it's completely out of your control. But to see so many people collectively persevere through whatever it is, you know, challenges, you know, time constraints, whatever the case may be, to push forward for 20 weeks, you know, in addition to everything else that they're responsible for. My hat is off to everybody. And so that's my comments.
Wow. Thank you very much. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Indeed. Okay, so that'll take us into, before we go on to our next award, anybody have any comments, feedback? Go into the next one. So I'm kind of shuffling them around, just seeing like who's actually here. To make sure prioritize that and value their time. So going back to, let's see, so that's, y'all met our board, leadership team. So from, actually, let me pull up. Here we go. I'll pull up the most updated versions that shows Tania. All right, there we go. So for leadership team, like I said, outside of Tania, everyone else has been with CPN since day one. I can't thank them enough. I was kind of throwing ideas out there. They were, all right, we can figure it out. They're riding with me. So I definitely wouldn't have taken off without them. With Rodney, as far as membership, he's a really good people person and networking, so he fit that role really well. And Tark's really involved in mentoring, high school, college, people, anyone who's trying to get professional development. And then Elvis, he reached out to me. He brought experience. He was president of one of the ISC Square chapters. I think at the time was in Florida, which is one of the largest chapters of ISC Square. So he was giving me a lot of good insight on how to structure CPN and how to build the different processes that we would need to grow. From sending me recommendations for membership platforms. I didn't even think about needing a membership platform until you mentioned it. Like just a lot of stuff where I was just figuring it out and relying on the leadership team to help guide me. And so for the leadership member of the year award, I don't think Elvis is here, but yeah, goes to Elvis Moreland because and one of the, like they gave me a lot of good ideas. And one of them was around the founding members who you all will meet next, where up until that point, Aspire Cyber was kind of the sponsor, the only sponsor. So just kind of paying everything. And then once we decided to move to a paid membership with our professional members, he mentioned like, okay, you should also consider having founding members. They're going to be people who want that lifetime membership and who want to basically help fund Aspire CPN as you're getting off the ground. And I was like, oh, I didn't think of that. And that's what came up with the founding members, and that's been a huge help. So prior to Bill being our first corporate sponsor, essentially, our founding members have sponsored a lot of the initiatives. There's a lot of overhead and operations that goes into this type of community and delivering the training. So definitely, that's Elvis. He's not here to speak for himself and give us some words, but he's a really awesome guy. He's here in Dallas. Tarek is in Wichita. Rodney's in Philly. Tania, you're in the DC area. And then
Yes,
Marla,
sir.
DC. All right. And then Marla, she's in Dallas as well. So that's our leadership team, and that covers that award. All right. Next up, we have. Next up, this one's a really, all these awards have been very competitive because in terms of CPN community, there's been so many people who have just been serving selflessly. So it's basically put a call out to the leadership team for the nominations, and it's kind of how we ultimately determine the winners. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of honorable mentions. There's a lot of people been serving. But the next one is more so around the ambassador of the year. We have that's what we call basically our volunteers, our ambassadors. And for this one, we have too many ambassadors, so we have it all on the pictures. But ultimately, the ambassador of the year award goes to Alan Jones. He is our ambassador of the year. And just to give some backstory on how he was able to edge that one out, because again, that was a very competitive award. So many people some honorable mentions for this one is just him. It's kind of what Amber mentioned, like a lot of our active members, they take it so serious. Like, I always have to remind you all that these are volunteers, they're not getting paid. And with Alan, he helped a lot with kind of trying to put structure around our metrics and helping us set up smart sheets and just get a better user experience or member experience. So, and we've had several meetings. He's always on time. He's always diligent. Every deliverable he commits to, he delivers. And also, most recently, he volunteered. He accepted my invitation to serve as the assessment prep for the Microsoft team. Did a phenomenal job there. So it just really thrilled to have Alan just so active in the CPN community. Anything you want to say, Alan?
Oh no, thank you for that. Wasn't expecting that. I thought, like you said, it was competitive because I was like, okay, these guys been before me, but I'm glad the help that I was at least try to attempt to help out with. I'm glad it really did pay off, and it's going to pay off. I just really enjoyed the mock assessments. I was telling people, like, from the first one I attended or participated in, like, I learned quite a bit from Edgar. He kind of like laid that foundation on how to think about the approach and think about how you're really looking at this. And I think I just took that with Google, and I took it with the Microsoft, and I was lucky. I was kind of blessed to have the team that I had with the Microsoft, because Peter, Neil, a few, Mike, all of them had the experience already. They kind of knew what we were talking about before. So that was kind of like a good layup for that particular project. So it was just a good, just knowing my team and just knowing the background and having experience, and make sure those that didn't have experience, make sure they understood, like, hey, this is how we approach it. This is what you should probably get out of it. If you want to learn more, we can definitely have more meetings, stuff like that. So it definitely worked out. But yeah, it was just, I try to make sure everybody have a good time because I have a good time myself. So, I just want to make sure everybody has the same experience that I have. It should be a good time, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I just make sure everybody try to enjoy it.
Yeah, and also another thing I didn't mention yet is in the role. Anytime you take a leadership role, there are things that come with leadership, and things. All of it's not going to be fun, and a potential incident that could have escalated if you had to step in your role as assessment prep lead to de-escalate that situation. And when you brought it to my attention, like, all right, do you need me to handle it, or do you need me to step in? And you had already handled it. So yeah, that was huge. Like, okay, yeah, I don't have to deal with it, but you just kind of kept me in the loop to let me know what was going on. But yeah, you were able to de-escalate it and demonstrate just that next tier of leadership. So it's awesome. And going back to, again, what Amber mentioned, just taking this serious, even though the volunteer roles, you just continue to have such a huge impact on helping with professional development, helping people develop them personally and professionally. And that's something that I took away from my time as a Toastmaster. That was something I really enjoyed, because you have people from just various levels of communication skills where you can just have such an immediate impact on helping them just develop that confidence to speak publicly. So this is the same way here with doing these mock assessments and training. Getting those reps in is going to give you the confidence. I don't care how much cybersecurity experience you have or IT experience, CMC is new. So when you step in that role as a consultant or assessor, the stakes are extremely high. So thinking you're just going to come in there cold and this is going to be easy breezy, you don't want that really to be your first experience in the real way. You want to you can do it in a safe environment like CPN and start developing, get those reps in, developing those skills. It'll be invaluable, certainly. Indeed. All right. So moving right along. see. Next up, we have. Let's see. So we got our leadership team. Next up, founding members. The ones who are help sponsor. And hey, Alan's one of those founding members as well. You heard from William earlier. But our founding member of the year is going to be James Harper. So James was our first founding member. And again, I remember I told you all that Elvis, he gave me an idea. So I got to just put it out there, included it as an option. Didn't really expect anyone to pay to become a founding member. And I just have to be checking like the transaction and say, whoa, somebody is a founding member. Who's that? So I went and checked. It was James Harper. And up to that point, I'm not sure if I even had a conversation with James before. So he had really just been watching from a distance and believed in what CPN was trying to do. And then shortly after that, learned that he was in Dallas, and we met for coffee. And yeah, ever since then, he's been all in. And following that meeting, he was like, we should do local meetups. So since like almost a year now, he's been hosting local meetups in Dallas at a coffee shop. CPN has paid for some of those. He's paid for most of them out of his pocket because it costs a fee to host in that facility. And they've had some good turnout at several of those meetups. I think some of the meetups have had over 40 people show up. Combination of college students who are looking to learn and get into CMC, to DIB members, to it's been really impressive what they've been able to do with those meetups. I'm sure he's probably super busy now doing assessments. I know he's deep in that, but yeah, definitely really appreciate his support, and then his team that's been helping. I know it's Peter, Gally, and Laura. They help with those in-person meetups, and they pretty much outline a blueprint for anyone who wants to do meetups wherever you are. If there's enough members, do local meetups, just an additional opportunities to network in person. Let's see. And let me see if there are any other founding members on. If not, not that I'm seeing. So Alan, if you can speak to what inspired you or encouraged you to become a founding member, because I'm not sure if you and I had a conversation prior to you becoming a founding member or not, or maybe.
No, I don't think so. So after you spoke at that study GRC meeting, I think it was last year sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay, this sounds like a field I could explore later down the road. But I was still trying to finish up like what I was currently doing at that time. So I didn't really transition until like March of this year. But then I talked to you again. I said, you know what? I like the sound of this. Let me just sign up. Then I saw the different type of ways they were set up. I said, you know what? I see myself doing this long term because I'm trying to make sure whatever my career goal is going to be for the next 10 years. And I said, this is going to be up my alley. I'm already doing audit readiness already, and I just need to transition to a different field and just understand the different frameworks. But it's something I enjoy doing. So I said, you know what? There's something I can support. I like the message that you gave us that night too. I like the message that you gave me when we did talk. So I said, I'm glad I made the right decision to become a founding member. It was just something that just aligned with what I want to do. Just for the next 10, 20, 30 years myself, and just support just different communities and build the community that you're actually building right now and have built. Just want to be supportive and be like, you know what, there's something I want to be behind.
Yeah. Can't thank you enough. So putting also your money and your time, like you invested a lot of time in helping build out CPN. And for the founding members, we meet monthly, and pretty much the theme of that meeting is, like I said, how can we help each other? So it's kind of almost like a mastermind group within that founding members, and kind of talking more business and things like that. So yeah, it's been awesome. All right, moving right along. Let's see advisors. Oh, these are the real rock stars of our community. The advisors, they are the engine behind everything that we're able to really deliver, because the training is really the draw for a lot of members. They want to get that hands-on training that's really not being delivered anywhere else, especially not for $99 a year. And so we have our Google Workspace, then we have Prevail, Edgar, and then our AWS. We're aiming to launch that one in next year. both of these are really busy. Bill, and then Mark has been, he's probably at about 30 level 2 certification assessments that he's either led those assessments or been on the assessment team. So he's super busy, but just that he's bringing that expertise. And then last but not least, our Microsoft GCC High advisors. So this is the one I was probably the most nervous about, the Microsoft track, because I know we had the most interest amongst the members for the Microsoft track, but we had some hiccups in terms of launching that track. And essentially, it's probably around October, I was like, okay, I want to get this track launched for the end of the year. I don't want to let the members down because we kind of promised that we were going to do that. And I reached out to William. Hey, would you be willing to lead this track and launch like kind of ASAP, like yesterday? And he accepted, along with Dave and Mike and Tarek. So yeah, they did a fantastic job. So essentially on it's 2 awards here. We're going to have the team as far as the overall team advisor. Then we're also going to have the award for the lead advisor of the year. So the overall track, the team of the year is the Google Workspace track. So for those of you who have been through that track, Amber already talked about it, and Alan, you went through it as well. They delivered that track over 20 weeks consistently, on time, on point, very well organized. It was just a well-oiled machine. And yeah, it was just amazing. Just the training that they delivered was so impressive. So yeah, they were very, very impressive. So special thanks to that team. I'm not sure if any of them are on right now, but primarily Alex, Evan, and Alan, and then Zach Walker. He represents ATX Defense. He was more so an advisor, helping the team kind of initially set up what the program was going to look like for that track. They delivered that world-class training. Fortunately, we have every session recorded. So that training is going to live on and help a lot of people really understand GCC, Google Workspace. And then next up, and this one was a very competitive one as well, as far as instructor of the year. I'll say, here we go. I'm gonna have to give it to most nominations, William Burchett, and more so just under the time pressure that he had to step in to that leadership role, and put together the program and deliver it. And then as far to the quality that it delivered it. So primarily it was William and Dave on the calls, outlining all of the hands-on training in the Microsoft 365 tenant. And it was clear from the first session, they were experts. They know Microsoft inside out, and they were giving the best they had during that training. So that was really amazing. I don't think either of them are here right now, but anyone want to share what was their experience kind of going through that track and their thoughts about just that quality of training that William and the team delivered? If not, I think I kind of summarized it, but yeah, again, we have those sessions recorded. I think we'll have they did 5 sessions. So I think we have 3 uploaded to Google Classroom now. The remaining 2 we'll have uploaded by next week. That's another great training. So again, William Burchett, the CMMC Advisor of the Year. And then as far as the track, the CMMC Track of the Year is the Google Workspace track. Definitely want to applaud them. And I think pretty much everyone, and someone who got a lot of honorable mentions nominations was Edgar Vanterpool. He's kind of in a similar situation as William. He had to step in kind of last minute because the original advisor, the lead advisor for the Prevail track, I think he ended up like moving out the country or something. And we had to rescue it because they were already like 2 sessions in. And at the time, I think Edgar was not even a Prevail really like expert, subject matter expert. He's like maybe vaguely familiar with it, but I asked him, could he do it? And he was like, sure thing. He's a can-do, has a can-do spirit. So he definitely dived in head first, and he got a lot of good feedback from different members who were going through that training as far as just the quality of training he was delivering. So Neil, I'm not sure if you're in a position where you can come off mute and talk, but you're one of the first to kind of highlight it, just how the quality of training that Edgar was delivering. Add to that.
Yeah, I'll definitely say Edgar was hands-on. Anytime we needed help, after class, he set up special sessions for us just to, walk through Prevail, walk through all the controls. We were doing, I don't know, I think we did like 3 preps before our mock with him. He was just great to work with and great to work with in general.
Awesome. So the next award is the CPN Member of the Year. This, again, all these awards are very competitive, but a lot of different various nominations. And really the Member of the Year is someone that kind of really demonstrated all of the core values that we strive towards in this community. Just that selfless service, that can-do attitude, that just willing to do whatever it takes to deliver value, and also someone who has really grown as a result of being involved in the community. And that award goes to Edgar Vanterpool. He has, in every capacity, has basically like given it his all. And what's pretty awesome about Edgar is, like, I met him, might have been around the same time we started CPN, but I was also doing, Aspire Cyber was doing mock assessments weekly, and Edgar was one of the first ones to sign up to volunteer to do a mock assessment. And that first assessment, as far as I was having some technical issues with the platform I was using. I think Edgar was having some issues with like nerves, and he wasn't happy with his performance. I wasn't happy with the platform I was using, so it didn't go too well. But Edgar, the next week he signed up again. It's like, I got to get it right, and he came back and did just a phenomenal job. And since then, he's just been all in. Just to see how much he's grown and how much his confidence has really developed, it's been really incredible. Having had an opportunity to partner with him on several business opportunities, it's really awesome. So very, very proud of Edgar. So wish he was here to say some words, but he's awesome. Just like all our members are awesome, but yeah, he gets the Member of the Year award. Let's see. And as far as remaining awards, and while I look that up, anybody have any comments, things they want to share, things they want to see in 2026? We have some exciting initiatives on the horizon. Let's see, Amber, if you're still here, if you want to speak a little bit about what you all have planned with the SSP workshop.
Yeah, I can. That's actually answers the question where you asked what we'd like to see. I did want everything to be so cohort focused. I wanted to give a variety in different types of series, but I wanted always to have that practical, real life, use cases, and people who are experts to, share their time with us, but not give us to be flexible on it. So the SSP workshop, that actually, the idea came from one of our monthly meetings, membership meetings. And I kind of waited because a lot of people, it was like, yeah, we'll do it. A lot of people were ready to, lend a hand. And I waited. And I realized people who said they could lead the charge, they had a lot of bandwidth constraints. And I understood that a lot of conferences was going on. And I said, okay. And the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, I think you should at least, ignite the fire. And so I just started pulling people in, Tarek, Kim, Edgar, Neil, to name a few. And I always wanted to get, your blessing. So I said, hey, can we do this? And so in a nutshell, it will be a bi-weekly meeting for SSP workshop. We will have different instructors, and we will have practical use exercises. So these are things that whether you're an expert, at creating SSPs, or you're just starting from ground zero, this is something that you can take with you and be able to be more efficient in creating the beast that we call SSP. And so I want anybody that's interested, if you have, hey, I'd like to teach, like I said, I didn't want it to, require too much heavy lifting on anybody's part. I wanted it to be very community driven. I thought it was a good thing to showcase and not as structured as the cohorts have been, just something a little different, something more membership based. And we will start with our kickoff the 17th, I believe. And we will, get through the new year, and then we will have our first official workshop. Tark is going to be teaching the first two sessions, and then we'll have a new guest, that specializes in a specific area, and then they will kind of go from there. And ideally, we probably will transition into a more, I guess you say, meaty version of it, but we're going to just start off slow from ground zero and work our way up there. Maybe based upon you and me and Edgar's conversation, maybe we can throw a little technical writing workshops in there as well as a part of the series. Like we discussed, a lot of technical people, we know we have a lot of knowledge, but most of us do not like to write. Most of us don't have the patience.
Yeah.
We've done enough. But, to what you said, having a very kind of uniform CPN process and procedure for a specific role. So when you're responsible for doing SSP, this is how you do it. If you're responsible for just basic policy procedure writing, this is how you do it. This is the CPN way kind of thing is what we have as a goal. And so we're doing a lot of planning in the background, but, we will, once again, focus on quality, efficiency, and also practicality. We don't want to, sacrifice time making fluff. We want real, concrete, useful tools, that kind of thing, and resources, those things. Like you said, everything you said, we have it recorded, we have it here, we have it there. And that's what I love. I love going back and having access to things, and I can modify it as I need to for whatever it is that I'm doing. I know I'm not the only person. And that's why I, joined the group, because I needed a network. I didn't want to just have colleagues, and I have that already, right? Coworkers. I wanted people that we can exchange ideas with. We can work on projects together. We can build, many different business entities with it. That's what, it's an alignment. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, but stay tuned. We'll have an announcement.
Stay tuned to that. And another exciting initiative we have, which we're tying to our next award, calling it our Spirit Award, which is just someone that just really kind of hit the ground running and kind of led with values. Saying, I have a lot of times people contact me and say, "Hey, how can I serve CPN? What can I do?" And this person pulled it up. He's kind of been more behind the scenes, but you'll get to know him a lot better in January when they get to kick off. But Chadwick Powell, he's leading the initiative for the CMMC. We're calling the CMMC Academy, and the CMMC Academy is going to be just providing a lot more hands-on training that's open to just anyone who wants to join and learn about how kind of going through the readiness phases. How do you do an asset inventory? How do you do a data flow diagram, network diagram? So they're going him, Gennaro, and also Jeffrey Collins. They're spearheading that initiative, and they're going to be delivering a lot of value with that in 2026. So, quick story about Chadwick. Again, he reached out to me first on LinkedIn. How can he serve? Kind of gave him an idea I had, and he just ran with it. Met for lunch. Showed up at lunch. He had like a thick packet binder that was just all kind of stuff where he just basically built out the whole idea that I mentioned. He just completely built it out, and I was like, whoa. He came like he was ready trying to apply for a job or something. It was just so super impressive, and he's been that same way the entire time. Because initially we were going to try to do a CMMC clinic and do some level of pro bono consulting. We realized that was just going to be very complicated and potentially conflict with a lot of our other members who have businesses. So we said, okay, we're going to be more just kind of focus on the training aspect of it. And even though he had done so much work on the CMMC clinic, he quickly shifted and got right on board with the academy and built out that program. So yeah, really impressed by him and excited for y'all to get to work with him more. Impressive. So some other ones can kind of run through quickly. I know we're getting close to the time, and while I pull them up, another honorable mention I want to give in terms of someone I think that's going to deliver a lot of value in 2026 and try to really identify another area where we can serve a different audience. And I think he's still here. Oh, yeah, there he goes. So Luke. So I have met with Luke several times and exchanged ideas, and Luke has a lot of good ideas around mentorship and kind of really mentoring the youth and career development. So super excited about some future initiatives we're going to be working on. He's going to be bringing to CPN. So anything you want to share, Luke, about just kind of what are your thoughts about how we can leverage the CPN network and maybe really kind of help introduce those high school students and other youth to CMMC?
Yeah, I'm going to put a plug for the NCC too, for the National Cybersecurity Club. And you can speak more to that too after I'm done talking, but thank you. I appreciate it. We're not all going to be here forever, and we need other people to pick this torch up. I know y'all probably heard me say that before, those of you that I've talked with separately and at the conferences. But I'm very passionate about high school seniors and collegiate students. So I know there's quite a few of us actually in the CPN, probably more that do this than we all really even know. But a lot of us are adjunct professors. We mentor and kind of guide youth and young adults as cybersecurity practitioners in the GRC space. And more specifically, a lot of us that are in CPN for CMMC. And there's a lot of great things that are happening both in the CPN and the NCC that I think we're going to see some major expansion in 2026, to be honest. And I know I've got two other guys in Arkansas that are also excited. I know there's people in Virginia that are excited and all over the U.S.
Yeah, there should be. It's an exciting career field.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some growth too in just like general membership, but also some founding members for CPN, hopefully in Q1, Q2. So I'm very excited about that. There's some other opportunities. I know the team will announce more later, but definitely want to circle back on those. But I'm excited. It's just it's kind of like going to CS5 or Seek East. You just get pumped being around everybody else.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about CPN. It's just it's a good team. We can't get anything done unless we're a team.
right.
And so
It's definitely a
kind of like
team
what I was
sport.
like what I was saying, we're not going to be around here forever. So we need the next generation. Like that's how we scale. We got all these bottlenecks and problems, trying to get everybody to where they need to be in readiness and, trying to mitigate false starts. It's a big one. And in phase one for the assessment process. So the more we can train up the next generation of practitioners to do that, we'll be in a much better place.
Absolutely. Thank you much. Yeah, looking forward to collaborating with you and making that impact. Sure. A couple more I'll run through kind of quickly as far as awards. We also have our Partner of the Year award, and that is really those cloud service provider partners, the Microsoft, the Google Workspace, the Prevail. So Google Workspace for the level 1 track, they did donate us 40 licenses by us being a 501c3 nonprofit. They gave us 40 licenses for the members to actually get hands-on training. So that was really a big benefit. Microsoft, they gave us some unreleased training for it was like a modular type training for CMMC level 2 that they've only shared that with one other RP. So it had to go to a lot of levels of approval, but they definitely were been very supportive and active. And then Prevail, they actually are our Partner of the Year because with Jamie from Prevail. Once I told him about CPN, what the idea was, he's been all in. He was like, okay, hey, yeah, we can give the members access. The members are going through the track and give them access to a Prevail tenant, set up a Prevail tenant for CPN. And my question was, okay, how many licenses? He didn't give us a cap. However many that want to train, get their hands-on training. And he's met with Edgar and other members of the team several times. And I know they're already working on the level two training. So certainly big ups to Prevail. They are really committed to helping CPN members upskill. And other members, other cloud service providers as well. A big shout out to Prevail. And the next one is the C3PL of the year. So we do have a couple members who are C3PLs or represent C3PLs, and we have, but the one that I think, so Zach Walker from ATX Defense, I think he was actually the first member when CPN launched its paid membership, professional membership. He was the first to sign up, and he also has been active on the Google Workspace team in terms of helping them. And it's just been really great to have a C3PO really at the table helping us build this community. An honorable mention would be KLC Consulting. Kyle, they're based in Houston. That he's been a big supporter of us as well. But I would say as far as the most supportive C3PO for the CPN up to this point has been ATX Defense. So really happy to have their support and looking forward to have other C3POs support this community. I know we have some members who are going through the process of becoming a C3PO, and some members who are pretty active at this point. So I think this one's going to be even more competitive next year for this award. But yeah, this one was probably the easiest award for the C3PO of the year, because as of to date, I think ATX is ever the most active and only professional member. Let's see. All right, we're coming up on the last couple. Next up, I want to do the active member of the year. So that one kind of speaks for itself. The member that's been the most active, basically completing all the training, almost perfect attendance at all of the training, stepping up in leadership roles, just any way he could serve, stepping up and doing that. And for those of you, any of you who work with him, I don't think this award is not going to be any surprise. But we have Mike Parsons. He's definitely been all in. He served as an advisor. I'm sure he's completed all 3 tracks for Prevail, Microsoft, and Google Workspace. I know there's other members who have done that as well. We'll acknowledge. But yeah, Mike, he definitely brings the energy. He's committed. I'm definitely happy that he's a member of this community. He brings a lot of value to it, and he is. At this point, he's a CCA pending tier 3. So hopefully get that soon so he can join the CCA ranks. We have Mike, and then I think the last award, last but not least of the night before we get ready to kind of close out. And I know someone had text said Edgar was getting ready to join. I think it was Daniel. Did Edgar join yet?
Hey, Dad, this is David. I didn't see him. I texted him about you giving him the kudos about his work. He's like, I'm coming there now, but I didn't see him yet.
No worry. Yeah, they got a lot going on.
Yeah,
in daddy mode right now too. But I think this is the last award I have on the list. But this one is around we call it the Rookie of the Year award. So this one's more so a member who maybe was like kind of new to CMMC, the defense industrial base space. And for this one is going to be Kim Fanto. So she has really been a huge supporter of CPN, and she has jumped in head first. She comes from the financial services space, and pretty much with CMMC and DOD, all this stuff is new to her, but she has proven to be really a rock star. And I know she has been able to leverage. She has her own company, but been able to partner with other CPN members for business opportunities and some consulting engagements on CMC side. So really proud of her and everything she's been able to accomplish. Also, she hosted our meetup. So for CS5 some kind of like last minute. It's like, hey, Kim, can you do it? Sure thing. And she was able to pull that off. So it's just awesome to see once you really have that common goal, that mission that people are bought into. We're all here to serve and all about professional development. Yeah, and as you mentioned, Luke, as a team, it's nothing we can't do. So it's just been really incredible to see what we've done. And this is just year one. And right now, yeah, there's no other community, especially within CMMC, who can say they've done anything we've done on a hands-on side and professional development side. So you can imagine a year from now just how far we would have gone. So it's going to be cool to just see it continue to compound. And it's my goal for ideally next year is to be able to actually hire an executive director to really kind of help us even take it to the next level. I'm balanced in CPN. Also, Aspire Cyber is a thriving business, so I'm balancing a lot. But the support of the volunteers, and then be able to have a full-time role with an executive director, really is going to help us take us to the next level. That's it. I think we are almost at anything someone want to share, comments, feedback.
Kudos to Rookie of the Year. I never would have guessed that. Kim seemed like she's been in the field for at least 5 years.
Yeah. Now she brings a lot of experience. She goes from financial services and financial services regulated. But yeah, she definitely she's dived in, and she's a rock star. And it goes to show too, in this with CMMC, what I love about GRC is a lot of the skills overlap. So regardless of what career field you're coming from, you're going to be able to apply a lot of skills you may have gotten from other career fields. So yeah, it just kind of fits nicely. And I almost forgot. But yeah, she's rocking and rolling. All right, and then I do see the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend, Edgar Vanderpool has graced us with his presence. So in terms of Edgar, you missed all of your accolades, but I was just kind of sharing. You won the Member of the Year, so that's a very coveted award. And I was just speaking about, I gave him the backstory about how we first met, and he signed up for that mock assessment. Well, was having technical issues, and then you just wasn't happy with your performance. Very next week, you signed up again, like, hey, I got to get it right. So just kind of tell us what's been your journey in CPN, what's been what have you gained from it, what has inspired you to be so involved, from being a founding member to being a advisor to everything.
Man, the exposure, the creativity, the different variations of minds that I'm able to interact with, and not being alone. I expressed this to Derek before, because starting off doing CMMC in like 2017, 2018, before it was actually a big thing, and meeting other like-minded people that did government assessments, and to the extent that we've done it in this community here, it meant a lot to me. So you probably see from like my first video, I was very shy, technical issues. And I called Derek like literally 5 seconds after that, I'm doing the next one.
And doing the next one, sign me up, get back on that horse.
And ever since then, I told him, hey, just put me on the path. I'm not going to tell you no. It is what it is. If I don't know it, I'm going to figure it out. We're in a community full of intelligent people. We will all grow and contribute in some type of form or way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was telling him with the Prevail, when I asked you to step in, because the advisor, I think he left the country or something, but you stepped in, and you at the time, you was not a Prevail expert. You are now, but you just, hey, I'm gonna figure it out. And you've gotten so many accolades. Neil mentioned he was one of the first to say, yeah, Edgar's doing this thing as an instructor. And he brought that like, man, and several other people mentioned it. Alan mentioned it today. So yeah.
Thank you guys. I wouldn't be anything without y'all, because y'all are the most eager ones. Y'all came with your cups and feet. Y'all wanted the best from me, so I couldn't leave nothing else on the table but give y'all 120%. And you shouldn't expect anything less from me, and I don't expect it for myself. Like, I have to give y'all the best in everything that we do, because we have clients out there that either they don't know, or we really need to educate them, and we can't leave them behind.
Absolutely. That's the spirit. That's what CPN all about. You definitely exemplify leaving it all on the field. Indeed.
Anybody will tell you, I have a beginning and I have an end date. I know my beginning. I don't know the end date, but I have a dash in the middle. It's going to say all used up.
All used up. I like it. I like it. All right. Before we close out, it is actually one more award that I have almost forgot. But last but not least, we have the Heart for Service Award. So this one goes to, and I'm not sure how many of you may not met her, but she's doing a ton of behind the scenes on the administrative side. But Marla Smith Folsom, she is actually on the Aspire Cyber side. She's my executive assistant, and working with us about a year now. And once she started learning more about CPN, we initially had her doing some fractional work on the admin side for CPN, because it's a ton of admin in terms of new member signs up and sending communication, just all kind of stuff. And I was just getting flooded with that. So we initially were paying her to do some admin on the CPN side. Quickly realized as a nonprofit, our budget was running out quick. All right, Marla, I'm gonna have to kind of take that back over, because we really can't afford any more CPN. And she acts like, hey, can I still do it? Like, you don't have to pay me. I believe in what y'all doing. Can I still do it? And I was just blown away by that. Like, wow. And she's been all in. So definitely she exemplifies that heart for service. I know she had joined early. She might have dropped off, but yeah, that's that award where she went from getting paid to do the admin for CPN to not getting paid and still wanting to do it, and not skipping a beat, not reducing the level of commitment. So it's been just kind of being energized by the community and being feeding off each other, and that iron sharpens iron. So it's great to see what we've built and what's to come. That's the most exciting part. It's going to be pretty amazing. But yeah, that's kind of all I have. We can kind of end out on anything else somebody want to share, but really appreciate y'all spending the last 90 minutes with us for our Christmas party, and just sharing stories, these war stories from the front lines. So we really are in a position to make a significant impact in the defense industrial base, and also help people develop their careers, accelerate them. That I just can't think of any greater honor.
I have one thing to say. Mm-hmm. Since CPN has opened up, it's possible. Because if you don't know something, somebody in the circle knows it. You just have to ask the right question. Know the variable, and be willing to think outside the box with a huge bucket of creativity, because not everything is cookie cutter. Yeah. But we're in this road together, and it's going to be a great path.
Oh yeah, and that's a great one to drop the mic on. Wise words. Cool. Well, thank you all, and looking forward in 2020. Hope y'all have happy holidays, and looking forward for those in 2026 who want to get more active. There's no shortage of opportunities, and I love bring me ideas, and I'll support you in any way to launch these initiatives. So if you want to lead an initiative, bring it to the table, and hey, we'll support. And we'll be able to.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Y'all.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.